So today I'll explain cooking principles, and yesterday's class also I'll continue. So what was our last class? What did we studied in the last class? Anjali, Pratima, Ganesh, what was our last class?
Ma'am, about hygiene.
What hygiene?
Food, hy- food
Hmm.
hygiene.
So food hygiene. So yesterday about what hygiene did we study?
Milk.
Milk hygiene we have studied. So let me continue with yesterday's class. Meat hygiene today is okay. After this meat hygiene and fish, some more vegetable hygiene. After that, I'll explain about the cooking principles also. So coming to the meat hygiene, the term meat includes various tissues of animal origin. The diseases may be transmitted by eating unwholesome meat are. So here meat hygiene means if we are not maintaining the hygienic measures whenever we are eating meat, it will lead to some diseases. So what diseases will be transmitted by the meat means we can see tapeworm infestations. This Taenia solium, Taenia saginata. This Taenia solium infection is caused from which animal? Unboiled, what? From which animal this tapeworm infestations we can see, like Taenia solium, from which animal it will be spread? Any idea? Idea is there or not?
Pork.
Pork, very good. So if meat is not boiled or not cooked properly, that leads to get this Taenia solium infestations. You already know. So the meat should be boiled properly for maintaining the hygiene. So some diseases which are transferred by not like maintaining the hygiene of the meat are tapeworm infestations like Fasciola hepatica, Trichelella spiralis, Taenia saginata, Taenia solium, and bacterial infections like anthrax, actinomycosis, and also tuberculosis and food poisoning. All these are the bacterial infections which are caused due to the meat. So in order to prevent that, what we can do, we can inspect the meat. So inspection of the meat, the slaughter animals are subjected to proper ante-mortem and post-mortem inspection by qualified veterinary staff. So before eating the meat, that should be inspected clearly. For if any diseases is present to that animal, then there are chances to get to us also when we eat it. So it should be inspected properly, and qualified veterinary staff should be there for inspection of that. And the causes of this antemortem and postmortem rejection of animals, like there are some causes is there, like some diseases like emaciation, exhaustion, pregnancy, sheep pox, foot rot, actinomycosis, brucellosis, febrile conditions, diarrhea. All these conditions when are present to the animal, we can reject those animals and eating their meat also. And like cystis, sarcobovis, liver fluke, abscesses, sarcocytosis, hydatitis, septicemia, parasitic and nodular infections of the liver and lungs, tuberculosis, cysticerous cellulose. All these are also after post-mortem of animal we can see these infections. So if at all any infections are occurring, then we need to reject that meat, and that should not be ate, so that meat hygiene will be maintained, and what we call that infection will not be spread from the animal to the human beings. And when we see characteristics of a good meat, so what will be the characteristics of a good meat means it should be neither pale pink nor a deep purple tint. So it should not be very pale pink color, or it should not be very deep purple in color, and it should be very firm and elastic to touch. And it should not be slimy and have a agreeable odor. It should not have some bad smell. Then only it is considered as a good meat. The same way with the fish. Fish decomposes quickly after death because of the bacteria with which they become infected. So, fish hygiene is also necessary under the food hygiene. So after death, the fish will become decomposes very fastly compared to other this meat and vegetables. So that should be because bacteria will contaminate it and decompose it this decomposes this fish very easily. So that should be hygienically maintained, and immediately after bringing that should be cooked. So how the fresh fish will be there means must be in a state of stiffness called as rigor mortis. So rigor mortis. Did we study about rigor mortis? What is this rigor mortis condition? In which condition we have studied rigor mortis? Any idea? Not remembering rigor mortis? Anjali. Anjali is there? Ganesh is there?
Stiffening of muscle.
Ah, very good. Stiffening of the muscle. In which condition we have studied, Pratima?
Ma'am, stiffness muscle.
Ah, in which condition we have studied this rigor mortis clinical feature? In which condition? Remembering or not? Okay. In tetanus condition, we have studied stiffness of the muscle. Okay, rigor mortis. So that fresh fish will be in this stiffened only, like rigor mortis. Okay, that is considered as fresh fish. And gills must be bright. Gills means the wings which is present that should be bright, and the eyes of the fish must be clear and prominent. The eye should be very clear. Then only it is considered as fresh fish. And the diseases transmitted by the fish or fish is the intermediate host of the tapeworm. So for transferring this tapeworm infections, this fish is the intermediate host. And we can also see tapeworm infestations is rare by eating fish. Sewage, bacteria, and virus may be concentrated in sealfish. Many organisms like Salmonella, Vibrio, Clostridium tetanus cause the diseases with the help of these fishes. And eggs are also sterile inside, but shells are contaminated by the fecal matter of hen. Microorganisms, including pathogenic Salmonella, can penetrate a crackle cell shells. So eggs becomes stale on prolonged storage as well as when stored under unsatisfied condition. The freshness of egg may be tested. So here fish should be like stiffened muscle, that is considered as fresh fish, and gills should be prominent and clear, eye should be very clear. So coming to the egg also like with the contaminated fecal matter of the hen, the egg may be like it may cause some infections. So that should be clean. How the freshness of the egg can be tested by how means by candling and by floating. Candling is a when a strong light is projected towards the egg must appear transparent. Rejects the egg if there are any. So whenever we are a strong light is projecting on the egg, that should be like transparent. Then only we will consider it as a fresh egg. And next thing is floating. You all know floating in saline water, fresh egg sinks in salt water. So in normal water, the egg will float if it is fresh means. And in salt water, the egg will sink. So by that, we can test the freshness of the eggs. And fruits and vegetables. How fruits and vegetables hygiene is maintained means you all know important source for the spread of important pathogenic organisms, protozoans, helminthiasis organisms will be spread by the vegetables only. Those which are grown in sewage, irrigated land are dangerous if eaten raw and unwashed. They can transmit pathogenic bacteria like typhoid, bacilli, and worm infestations. So if we are not properly washing the vegetables, it is then the infections can be easily transmitted. So use of washed and cooked vegetables are free from danger, which are cleanly washed and cooked one are free from danger. To eat raw vegetables and fruits, treat them in a weak solution of potassium permanganate. So you all know this potassium permanganate is called as KMnO4. In that solution, we can clean them and wash under running water also. That is also one method to clean the vegetables and fruits. Sanitation of eating places, like the eating places include dining halls, hotels, restaurants, everything should be very clean. Then only the cleanness can be maintained. And here, cooking principles are there. So coming to the cooking principle can be discussed under 7 steps. So up to now we have studied about the hygiene, milk hygiene, we have studied meat hygiene, fish and the fruits and vegetables and eggs. All this maintenance of hygiene we have studied. Now we are studying about the cooking principles. So what are the principles present for the cooking process and which will enhance or which will increase the healthy habits. So let us see cooking principles. The first is selection or purchasing of the food in the market. So when we are purchasing the food, how that food should be there. The first principle is that select fresh vegetables and foods of high quality. So in the first principle, what we need to do, we need to select the fresh vegetables and fruits which are of high And next thing is vegetables and fruits lose their nutrient value if kept too long. Try to buy frequently. So we should not get the bulk vegetables or fruits. Like frequently we can get, so that fresh fruits and vegetables we can get. And avoid selecting foods which is dry, shrinked and spot on the vegetables. So you all know how we will select which is very fresh and healthy looking, that only we will select. And whatever spots are there, any shrinkedness is there, we will avoid them. And select green leafy vegetables which are fresh, greenish in color. And always while selecting the vegetables, we need to select the green leafy vegetables and which looks very fresh and greenish in color. Choice of seasonal fruits and vegetables is always good and useful. So seasonal fruits eating is very much beneficial with high nutrient value, and encourage the use of sprouts daily. Sprouts, everyone is having idea. Sprouts means everyone knows. Sprouts idea is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We need to encourage the habit of eating sprouts daily. So that is also one of the good habit for enhancing the health. And coming to the washing. Next cooking principle is washing. So first principle is to select the fresh fruits and vegetables. Next principle is washing them. After selecting them, we need to wash them properly. Wash vegetables before cutting. If the vegetables are washed after cutting, it washes away the nutrients. So if possible, use KMNO4 for washing. So here, mostly we will wash with the fresh water only. So before cutting the vegetables, that should be washed. And wash rice once or twice. We all know that rice should be washed once or twice. Too much washing results in nutrient loss. So rice should not be washed too much because nutrient loss may take place. Wash vegetables in salt water or lukewarm water. Don't discard outer green leaves of leafy vegetables unless they are spoiled, as outer leaves are richer in nutrients than inner leaves. So when we see these green leafy vegetables, outer leaves will be matured and inner leaves will be immature. So outer leaves which are very green and healthy, that will have high nutrient contents. So we should not throw them. If they are not spoiled, we can use them. And example, outer leaves of cabbage contains more minerals than inner leaves. See, this cabbage is there. Now, outer leaves will have more minerals. So that should not be wasted. And coming to the cutting process. So second principle is washing. Third principle is cutting. Cut vegetables or fruit just before cooking, or if served raw helps to preserve nutrients. So just before cooking we need to cut, and if we are eating raw also, that will be with the high nutrients. Cut vegetables into big pieces. If cutting vegetables into small pieces increases exposed areas, thus increasing loss of nutrients. So always we need to remember, we need to cut the pieces in big sizes so that nutrient value will be there. Scrape or peel the skin of vegetables very thinly, which are able to be cooked without skins. Greater portions of minerals are present next to the skin. So always when we are cutting, peeling off should be like thin peeling should be done. Very thinly we need to remove the peel because high minerals are present under the peel only. So that is the way we need to cut. That is the third principle. And fourth principle is cooking. For cooking the vegetables, use only the required amount of water. So we should not use more water. And extra water if used should be removed and mix it as a soup in the dal or rice, because during cooking vitamins such as vitamin C and thiamine pass from the food item into cooking liquid. So see, too much of cooking and too much of water, what it is doing, like some vitamins and like vitamin C and thiamine, these vitamins will be lost due to increased cooking. So excessive water should be avoided. And root vegetables like potatoes, sweet potatoes and beetroot should be boiled with their skins to retain the nutrients. So we will all do like that only. The sweet potatoes and beetroots, which are root vegetables, that should be boiled with the skin to remain the nutrients. And vegetables should be plunged into boiling water instead of cold water while cooking, as the enzymes ascorbic acid oxidase is destroyed by high temperature and prevents the oxidation of vitamin C. So like after boiling of water, we can add the vegetables, because it is enhancing this, preventing the oxidation process and making stabilizing of this vitamin C. So instead of putting these vegetables into the cool water, we can use boiling water and we can put our vegetables for cooking purpose. That is one cooking principle. And next principle is storing. So you all know, storing the food in rat-free places, cover the food with lid always. On the uncovered foods, flies and mosquitoes will sit. It is contaminated with fecal matter and salivary secretions of the flies. So always we should cover our food and store food in clean vessels. So whatever food is left over, that should be stored in clean utensils. And keep the fruits or vegetables cool, away from the sunlight, and where there is plenty of fresh air. Wherever fresh air is there, we need to put the vegetables or fruits there, so that if the vegetables or fruits will not be exposed to sunlight and damage won't be occur early. That is how storing will be there. That is the fifth principle. And coming to sixth principle, serving. While serving the food, the following points to be remembered. Wash hands thoroughly. So whenever we are serving the food, we need to wash our hands thoroughly. Serve the food in a clean and neat place. Always remember, the environment where we are eating, that should be very clean. The utensils used for serving food should be cleaned properly. Utensils should be cleaned properly. Serve the food in a hygienic area. Immediately after serving one item, it should be covered with a lid. So after serving, it should be covered. That is how serving process principle will be there. And cleaning. After eating food, clean the eating place. The vessels and the containers should be cleansed immediately. Otherwise, it aids in microorganism growth and it results in bad odor and spread of infection. So immediately after eating, we need to clean that area, so that it will prevent the spread of infection and as well as bad odor also. So these are the principles of cooking. So what are the principles of cooking? Can anyone tell me? 7 principles.
Selection,
Selection.
washing, cutting,
Selection, washing, cutting.
Cooking.
Cooking. Then that's all.
eating,
Storing.
Storing, very good. Then that's all, only storing, serving and cleaning. Okay, 6th and 7th. Then here,
serving, eating,
not eating. Eating is not there under the principle. Cleaning. Now here, 10 golden rules for the safe food preparation. So here, in order to prepare a safe food, there are 10 golden rules which are given by the World Health Organization. Here we can see, to prevent and control foodborne diseases, the WHO has developed the following rules. So WHO has given some golden rules. Let us see. So first rule is, choose food processed for safety. So first and foremostly, we need to choose the food which is processed for the safety. And next thing is, cook food thoroughly. Whatever food we have choose, that should be cooked thoroughly. And eat cooked food immediately. So whatever food is cooked at a time, we need to eat, which is hot one. And store cooked food carefully. So wherever after remaining is there, wherever we are storing it, that should be stored very carefully. That is one golden rule. And reheat cooked foods thoroughly. So whenever we are going to eat the stored food, we need to reheat it, so that whatever microbes are there which will transmit the diseases, that will be killed. And avoid contact between raw foods and cooked foods. So always remember, cooked foods and raw foods should be separated. Okay, raw foods means which are not cooked. It means vegetables and cooked ones, like raw vegetables and cooked vegetables should be separated. Contact should be separated. Wash hands repeatedly. So whenever we are touching something, we need to wash the hands repeatedly. And keep all kitchen surfaces meticulously clean. So always remember, kitchen should be very clean in order to prevent from the foodborne diseases. And protect the foods from insects, rodents, and other animals. So we need to protect the food from insects, rodents, and animals also. Use pure water. So always we need to use the pure water. These are the 10 golden rules given by the WHO. Easy, right? Clear? Any doubts are there?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Who is that? Any doubts are there? Any doubts are there? Want me to repeat?
No, ma'am.
Hmm. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.